Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of Ask the Block. Forgive me for last weekend, didn't get a chance to do one, but we're doing it this weekend, and I'll be posting it on Monday. Here we go. Let's get right into it. We got 7 questions for episode 7, so I hope you guys enjoy this. The first one is from my man Aircoins Lee. He asked the question, in your opinion, what will be the catalyst for mass adoption? Will it be DeFi? Will it be a killer dApp or something else? What will make an average Jane or Joe care about crypto? Maybe we have plateaued and our expectations are too high. We saw from the EOS voice presentation that blockchain guys have the tech brains but lack the swag to make crypto cool. I think 2020 will be the last stand for many cult projects like Cardano, BCH, and maybe even XRP. What are your thoughts? I agree with you, Aircoins Lee. I think we have definitely gotten ahead of ourselves. You know, I think our expectations are way too high. They'll start to come back, you know, over the next few years. And the reason why we're ahead of ourselves is because, first, to be honest, even my favorite blockchain at the moment, which is EOS, it has been for a year and a half now, but EOS is still not ready for the mass adoption when it comes to user interface and user experience. Okay, UX and UI they're just not there yet. I think they're the closest. You know, if you know anything about EOS, the wallet addresses can be created in a way where they're real words. They're not like these random 16 alphanumeric characters, you know, so you can, like, I've got a few that I secured while the mainnet was launching that are just normal words. And so that's one hurdle we have to get over. The second one is, you know, transaction costs. It has to be free. I think EOS and a few others have tackled that as well. But the biggest hurdle is UI UX, where the individual only understands and uses and experiences the benefits of blockchain, not having to know that it's actually run on a blockchain. So we're not there yet. And as you stated, the EOS voice presentation was not, I don't know what the hell they were doing, to be honest with you. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but it looked like they were really flustered. Don't know why, but it wasn't a good illustration or explanation of what voice full potential would be. But I think, you know, it's not a loss, and I think they're going to move forward with what voice is all about and intended to be, because now they got the SEC out of their hair. So I think that will be there will be more marketing behind that. But I personally think it's most likely going to be gaming. That's going to be the beachhead for onboarding new users, non-crypto users. Remember, we got to get those non-crypto users on board. The way we do that is through gaming. You know, I think that is going to be the main adoption for newcomers into this blockchain game. So gaming will do that, in my opinion, and maybe social media or something like that thereafter. But gaming for sure is the number one. 2020 will definitely, you've got, you know, I saw in a tweet thread yesterday or the day before, you know, these Cardano people talking about it's going to be the next this or that. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Like, do they realize that they don't even have a dApp? And it's been 2-3 years, but what, 2 years now? They're drastically behind. I don't think these people understand. So they're starting at zero. It's going to take the ones that aren't on their P's and Q's and aren't studying the blockchain industry as it evolves. It's going to take, they're going to be the ones that get caught with the bag or holding the bag, an empty bag, because it's moving fast. And any project that has not been able to gain traction in 2 years in this blockchain game, they're already lost. You're not going to be able to catch up and then surpass projects that are already moving forward and iterating and building and improving on their protocol. So Cardano is a no-go. It's just simply a no-go. They don't even have a dApp. BCH, it'll be around. And I think actually more people will start to utilize BCH when Bitcoin gets popular again. Because when Bitcoin gets popular again, it's going to lock up. The fees are going to be way too expensive, and people are going to look for alternatives with the same kind of brand in mind they're going to look at Bitcoin Cash. That's where they're going to look. Bitcoin Cash owns Bitcoin.com. So again, it's from a branding, onboarding perspective, people are going to look at Bitcoin Cash. It's going to be faster in those instances where, you know, we have a influx in curiosity about Bitcoin and people start trying to buy it and move it around. If they do that, it's going to lock the network up flat out. 1 megabyte is not enough. We saw that happen in 2017, and it will happen again. Surely, Lightning Network, not going to work. You know, a lot of people that say they're Lightning Network, they're so excited about Lightning Network. Well, they probably found out about Lightning Network in 2017. If you've been around and have been following the development of Lightning, I've been following it at least for five and a half years, roughly. They're not making the progress that's needed because, first of all, it's just entirely too complicated. It's not the right way to scale, and it actually makes everything more centralized. So that's not going to work, in my opinion, Lightning. So, yeah, I mean, XRP, I've told you guys many times before on this series and just in various videos that I've done on my channel. Not a huge fan of it. I feel like Ripple, the company, Ripple Inc., is taking advantage of all XRP token holders by liquidating those tokens that they own. They own most of them. They have a monthly schedule of liquidating XRP coins to go and buy various companies and real assets. So they're transferring the risk off to you, token holders that still hold it, and actually going out and buying real companies. So XRP token holders will be left with the empty bag as well. And I have to illustrate and stress, doesn't mean that Ripple itself, the company, won't be successful. I think they will be. They're buying up companies left and right. So they're going to get to a point of profitability. But I'm pretty sure that's not going to include XRP, the token, in any of that ecosystem. My personal assessment is that they're going back and forth with the SEC right now. And so we'll have to see how that pans out. You know, we can't overlook that fact. They have to be talking and in negotiations with the SEC. And so if you've noticed that Ripple has really tried to distance themselves from this token, and there's a reason why. You have to pay attention to those small things. So I hope that answered your questions, Eric Coins Lee. Good question there. Next one from Little Troll Box. He says, obviously crypto-backed PM shits are hot garbage. What is your opinion on holding physical precious metals? I think you should hold. That's the only way you should have precious metals. If you don't have it physically in your possession, then it's no better than holding fiat, because whatever certificate or, you know, whatever login and whatever you have that says you have X, Y, Z of coins or bullion in a storage vault in Switzerland somewhere in a mountain means absolutely nothing if things hit the fan and you have no way of accessing those coins. In bullion bars, you have to hold precious metals for it to be worth your while. How much? Can't give you a real percentage, but I would say you should have more crypto than you do precious metals. I stopped buying precious metals literally the week that I found out about Bitcoin, and that was not a bad decision. It really was not a bad decision at all. Now I can go back and buy hundreds of times more, you know, bullion if I wanted to, but I still think cryptos have a long way to go. So we know that, you know, when you're pricing gold, it's priced in fiat dollars. So I think that you're going to see crypto, Bitcoin in particular, and some of the crypto assets appreciate 100-fold more than precious metals. It just is what it is. So anyone thinking differently is they're delusional. They really are delusional, and they've lost out already. If you started accumulating cryptos just in 2016, you're so far ahead of what you would have been if you accumulated precious metals in that very same period, that precious metals will never catch up to your gains that you have in crypto. And I'm talking about 16. Just imagine if you started in 15, 14, 13, precious metals will never catch up, ever. Precious metals are cool, have a little bit, you know, in my opinion, but it's not gonna It's not going to make a big difference in your portfolio. Just being honest with you. You know, and people always talk about, well, if there's an EMP and the electricity goes out, you know, you can't use cryptos. Well, you won't be able to use your bank account either, which most of your liquidity is in the bank. You know, people that say that stuff, like, what are you talking about? Are you walking around with 100,000 cash, or at home 100,000 cash? You have that on you? Most likely not. You know, you probably got $20 in your pocket. Everything else is on your debit card. So how is that any different than what you're doing now in regards to Bitcoin? If an EMP hits, believe me, Bitcoin, gold, none of that is going to matter. You better have some guns. You better have some canned food, and you better have some physical cash. Literally, you better have some fiat dollar bills, because when stuff hits the fan, people are going to immediately equate and revert back to what they know. They know physical dollar bills, right? They don't know what gold is, the value of gold. I would venture to say that 90% of the people out here don't know how much an ounce of gold is worth today in fiat dollar. They wouldn't know. So you're not going to go around with an ounce trying to barter and buy stuff. You know, that's $1,500-$1,600. What are you going to buy with 1,600? You know, you get what I'm saying? Like, and then so if you break it down to grams, they're really not going to know how much a gram of gold is. So that thinking in that mindset is foolish. It really is foolish. You need to have, in a situation where the electricity goes out, power is gone, grids are down, guns, ammo, and canned food, and some dollar bills, y'all. That's what you need. Not even, of course, Bitcoin, cryptos won't do anything for you. Gold, precious metals won't do anything for you. Those four things are what you're going to need. So thanks for that little troll box. Next one, Wired Sparks, my man out there on YouTube. He said, CB, what are your thoughts on the NBA's Spencer Dinwiddie tokenizing part of his income? So this is big news right here. We got someone that is surely thinking outside of the box and is ahead of his time, to be honest with you, Wire Sparks. Sometimes when you're ahead of your time, you know, the timing is off, and it is just not the right time for it to happen. I don't think it's the right time, simply because I don't think the NBA is even ready to, from a business operational standpoint, handle something like this. How do they benefit from something like this, a tokenization of a player's contract? So I don't think they're anywhere near ready for this, and they actually denied it. If you didn't know, they actually prevented him from tokenizing his contract. So he's going to war with them now. I think he's trying to do a countersuit or something like that to go against their decision. But I don't think he will be able to win this. And the reason is because they simply don't have a way infrastructurally to benefit from him doing this. Will this happen in the future? Absolutely. It's definitely going to happen. But I think he's way ahead of his time, man. And it's not the right timing for it at the moment. So we'll see what happens in the next 5 years if somehow the NBA allows this. But it only will be allowed once they can figure out how to monetize off of this themselves. Because at that point, you know, players are then circumventing a lot of intellectual property rules that the NBA has over these players. You know, they kind of partially own these players and their likeness and stuff. So we'll have to see how that pans out, but definitely something that you'll see in the future. Absolutely, you will. And I think it'll play into the whole like gambling, you know, sports gambling and stuff like that, tokenization. You'll see that. Definitely a good question there, Wired Sparks. The next question is from my man Map to Success. This is a loaded question, people. He said, do you think the Stacking My Coins joint could help draw awareness if it gets into the media? He's saying that simply because, I don't know if you guys know, me and Map to Success are going to be on the remix of this song that you hear right now. Actually, it's playing in the background. I don't know, man. This song is so hot. I'm surprised it hasn't blown up more, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens with it. But any type of awareness through music and entertainment is always a good thing. And you know, I think if this song could gain some traction, it will get people a little bit more interested in it. But again, the gap here, man, is the fact that people don't even know why they need cryptocurrencies. That's the biggest problem. And so we're trying to force feed individuals into this crypto space. And if they don't understand the urgency, the sense of urgency, the devaluation of their purchasing power from using fiat, 99% of its value lost since what, 1913 or something like that, 1920s. If we don't drive those points home, people won't even have the sense of urgency to at least have a little bit of cryptos to protect themselves from inflation. It's almost like a billboard, man. Like, billboards don't turn into direct sales. Normally, it's a brand reinforcement strategy. You know, so something like this would probably be like a brand reinforcement thing when it comes to cryptocurrencies. But again, you guys keep your eyes and ears open for the remix. I'm going to be on there. Map to Success will be on there as well. We're just waiting for my man Hooli Gang to finish the mix up. But I'm excited about that. I dropped a hot 8 bars on that one. I think you guys will like it a lot. But thanks for that. Map to Success. Next one from Miguel Alvarez. He says, how will crypto affect the world of credit and lending? Like when you go out to the bank and ask for a loan for a house, for a car, for a business, or even if you just ask for a small personal loan for whatever your needs are. Maybe there's something out there already that I don't know about, but how can crypto help or not help that part of the finance industry? Will being invested in crypto affect my credit score? Will it help or will it affect it in a negative way? Good question, man. You have a number of lending products out there. Salt Lending, BlockFi, even Crypto.com has it in certain areas. I don't know if the US is open to that just yet with Crypto.com, but you have a number of lending services out there for Bitcoin. But what they do is they use your Bitcoin as collateral for the loan that they give you. So they'll give you a fiat loan and you're using your Bitcoin or your cryptos as collateral for that. The other way around, no, I don't think that's going to happen, simply because there's too much of a risk to be lending out cryptos to individuals. That's almost like, think of it, because crypto is an asset, so you wouldn't loan out, in this case, an asset to a consumer, especially a non-productive asset, especially one that's so volatile. So right now, that's not going to happen at all. Will cryptos affect your credit score? Not at all. It's not it doesn't have any tie to our traditional credit debt system. It's almost like anti-debt. It's the total opposite of what our system is about. So it has no effect on our credit, and really never will. At this point, banks don't recognize it as an asset that you can borrow against. So will that change in the future? Possibly. But I think the volatility of Bitcoin will have to come down before banks start even thinking about doing that, man. So thanks for that question. My next one is from Mick. He says, which is the safest way to make a paper wallet? Good question, Mick. Very good question. And I'm going to direct you to an old school website that I used. I've been using them for 7 years. I started creating paper wallets fairly early into my whole discovery of Bitcoin and learning and everything. And I use this site called bitaddress.org. It doesn't look all fancy, but this is a site that I've used for many, many years. And let's take a look at it. If you see here, this is the website. And initially, you have to just move your mouse around to generate a random seed. So you do that until it gets to 100%. Once that happens, it'll give you your public address to the left, your secret address to the right, or you can go to Paper Wallet. And if you go to Paper Wallet, it'll generate 3 different, or you can change it actually to whatever number of addresses you want to generate. And I would also add in the BIP38 encryption if I were you, which you need to add additional passphrase to it, and you click generate, and it will generate some paper wallets for you. As you see here, the one to the left is your private, the one to your right is your public. So you just print those out. Now, one thing I want to note, This is generated. This whole JavaScript here is locally generated. So it's generated on your computer. So there is no interaction with the internet when generating these private and public keys. However, to be safe, to do it the absolute safest way, Mick, you'll see at the bottom here, there's a zip file. You want to download that zip, and even better, if you can, a computer that is clean, maybe even brand new. So you take that zip, move it to a new computer, like go get a Chromebook or something for $150 or something. Move that zip file that you downloaded to that computer. Open it, and you'll see an HTML file. You just double click that, and it'll open in a new browser. Generate, and again, have that new computer offline. You can generate your new private and public keys right within the block, within the browser, being completely offline, and it will be safe. Generate a few of them, getting used to it. Send small amounts to the address, the public side, the right side. You want to send a small amount just to see if it works, and then you want to load that paper wallet private key into, let's say, like blockchain.info wallet or something like that. You can do, there's a number of wallets you can load your own Bitcoin addresses in with the private keys, but do that and make sure you can access it. So do that once with one of the addresses, and then you'll feel comfortable moving funds over there. So those addresses that you don't actually load in to access with the private key, any of those addresses you don't do that with are considered cold addresses or cold wallets. They've never been touched. They've never been accessed, only funds sent to them. So those are cold wallet addresses. Those are your safest addresses that you can have, or wallet addresses you can have. You generated them offline. No way, any interception or anything. That's how you do it. And again, maybe you want to print them out and laminate them, put them in a safe somewhere. That's what you want to do. But yeah, that's the site, bitaddress.org. That's an OG site. That's what I've been using for many years now. Last question for today from Heath Miller. He asks, how do you close a trade? Do you hold USDT or some stable coin? So it just depends on, Heath, if you're talking about, like, if I'm trading my algorithm, it's never in USDT. It's either long or short Bitcoin. Okay. So it's a kind of the system that we use for the most part, unless we get stopped out. We'll either toggle between long or being short Bitcoin. If we get tapped out, you're actually sitting in Bitcoin. But yeah, if you were talking about a particular exchange where you were trading, yes, you would lock in profits by converting those coins into USDT or some other stable coin like USDC. There's a whole bunch of them. So it doesn't matter which one you use, to be honest with you, whatever one you're comfortable with. And that'll give you the ability to lock in whatever profits you have for that particular coin. So I hope that answers your question, Heath. And that is the last question for today, ladies and gents. Hope you guys found episode 7 of Ask the Block informative. Make sure you definitely like, share, and subscribe. Share this with family members who may be interested in cryptos. They'll be able to get the right perspective from this channel. Again, leave your thoughts and comments, suggestions in the section below. If you have a question, all you have to do is hashtag AskCB, and it will be added to the queue, people. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out of here. Holla. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin.